Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, based on where you are in this world watching this video. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Today is Friday. Oh, I love Friday. December 17th, 2021. It is 62 degrees here in sunny and clear sky, New York. Right now, I am in Franklin Square, which is in Nassau County, and I am heading to a customer, first service call of the day, who has a gas boiler that the pilot is on, but it's not igniting. And that's all that I know. I actually spoke to him when he called in for the service call, and he goes, listen, I checked the pilot, was on, I changed the thermal flame, this is what he called the thermal flame fuse. I was like, you mean thermocouple? I was like, no, the thermal fuse. I'm like, all right. Maybe he's referring to the rollout switch. Thermal fuse, that thermal disc. And I said, all right, listen, you need a service call. So we're heading over there now, and let's see what he got. Let's see what he has. All right. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already to support the channel. It really helps out the channel with YouTube search and reach. All right, let's go. Timer flash 7 times. BTU system. You ain't testing your gas.
Hasn't been running in 9 months.
When's the last? So did it work last season?
Yeah. So I relit the pilot. I did exactly what it said. I held it on the front cover, held it down for a minute afterward. Came back the next day. Pilot's completely.
Yeah, the click, but.
What's that?
I hear the click, but it doesn't do anything.
It was fine though. It worked. I got to go. I set it for 60 when it was 39 in the house.
All right, let's jump this out. All right, it's a little Wago here. Jumping out RH and W.
See your zipper on the outside of that. On the
oh yeah, look at that. Old man, yeah. Wow. The pilot is on, you sure?
Well, it was.
It was on. Now, yeah, it is. Okay. Let's check. Let's sure that's in there. Let's look at who's tight spot here. Damper is closed. How about spill switch? Where are you, spill switch? Let's get some light up there. What do we see? Nope. That's on. Let's.
There's another door right next to this if it helps.
That may be necessary. All right. Why isn't it firing? And I just touched these two terminals on the pressure control, and the thermostat relay energized. The damper started to move, but now we are closed. So let's try that again. All right, look at that. Damper's opening. Let's wait for it.
There you go.
And we have ignition by bypassing pressure control. The question is it the pressure control, or is it the pigtail, or both? What does that look like to you?
Copper, what? What do
No,
you
no,
mean?
this little thingy right here. See this pipe?
Yeah.
What does that look like to you?
I don't know, what?
It's called a pigtail.
Okay.
Doesn't look like a pigtail?
Yeah, I guess. It does.
Its job is
How could that go bad?
It's clogged.
You think?
Lack of maintenance. I think, I know. This job is to keep the latent heat and protect off of the pressure control, which is this box that you asked about.
And if it gets blocked up,
then it's not going to sense pressure, right? And if it gets blocked up while it's on high pressure,
right,
it's not, the pressure on the pigtail is not going to go back to the boiler.
Got it.
Make sense? So now we're going to take the pressure control off.
Can you just clean out the pigtail?
Sometimes. All right, hold on. One thing we didn't check for is the boiler full? And this sight glass is full.
What's dripping?
Water. All right.
Why?
Why? Because the boiler's it has too much water in it. Let's put that back there so it stops dripping. We gotta drain this boiler down. And now we drain.
Hello?
A lot of pressure in there. Is there a sink or drain down here in the basement?
Hang on one second. Is there what?
Is there a sink or drain in the basement?
Yeah, the sink doesn't go anywhere, no.
Oh.
I gotta call you guys back. I have a problem with that. Hello? Yeah.
Number 2. How many buckets we're gonna dump out? Take a guess. Number 3. Trace. Nowhere near. 4. 5. 6. Getting close to the end, I think. Bucket number 5. There she is. 5.5 is going to be. It's way too low on a cutoff to sense insufficient water. And then, like it just did, and then it's going to give that power, and we'll watch and see if it overfills. See, steady red light, no water. Make sure it stops where it should. Okay, it stopped filling. And if this was closed, thermostat relay energizes, vent damper opens, then we have ignition. Well, you had asked about what temperature to keep the house so the house doesn't freeze.
With no one living in it.
Exactly. So if it's freezing outside,
right,
and it's only 60 inside,
right,
at the thermostat, you still have piping, a lot of it along the outside walls and things like that, but rather be safe than sorry.
Sure. I only keep it at 67 when we live here.
Oh.
I sleep better when it's cold.
I hear you. It's just a matter of opinion, but professional opinion, I would, if no one's here at all and it's, it's winter outside, I wouldn't keep it below 65.
Okay, that's what I'll put it at.
All right. So now she fired up, and we have to let it get to pressure and make sure it turns off and do a combustion test. Let's see what kind of numbers we get. All right. 6.2% O2, 8.3 CO2, 31 ppm carbon monoxide. Stack temperature 427. Not too shabby. All right, we've been running for a while, and that says 15 psi.
It's running, by the way.
That says 15 psi. Water level's where it should be. Let's check the relief valve. Let's make sure this is a 15 psi. Yep. Huh?
Have a good day. And
let's open it.
Locker.
See, that gauge is not correct.
Have a good day at work. I love you.
The gauge is not correct.
Bye.
All right. Not really a deal breaker. The one of the things we're doing right now, we want to make sure that nothing else pops up. Well, you know, it's just because the boiler was flooded and that prevented operation. You know, it's yes, I can get it up. Well, we don't know why it flooded yet, right. But I need to make sure there's no other underlying issues here that could, you know, jeopardize, you know, the people who live in the house, even though it's empty. But right. If I leave here, God forbid, and tomorrow you get a phone call that, hey, you know, or whatever, I don't want to get the other. I don't want to be in the receiving end of that phone call. So right now the boiler's been running, I would say about 15-20 minutes, right? Yeah. There's a pressure gauge on here that's showing right now 16 psi. I know that's wrong because the relief valve on the other side of the boiler, right, I opened, and very little pressure is coming out. It's not a deal breaker. I don't need to know what that pressure is, but just something to make note of. You know, the pressure gauge is incorrect. So don't be startled if you come down and you see the 30 psi and pegged out and the boiler's going to blow up. No, it's just wrong because that 15 psi relief valve on there will open at 15.
Well, we'll get it fixed during the service contract.
It's excluded item. It's not that expensive, the gauge, but again, it's not necessary to have or be functional, but it does come with the boiler because it's good to know what the pressure is. Like if there was pressure problems here, and I would need to know what that is.
Sure.
But we don't have that yet. So, but I'm also letting it run because I need to make sure that the pressure troll, which is this, turns the boiler off, right? And it's set at a little under 2 psi, and eventually it'll get there, right, 2 psi. And when it turns the boiler off, now I know the pressure troll is good.
But wouldn't it wait to turn off until the thermostat reads that the room is 65?
Say that one more time?
To turn the boiler will turn off.
Yes.
When it reads that it's at 65 degrees in the house, right?
Correct. There's more to that.
What's that?
Well, yes, you are correct. So the boiler will turn off when the thermostat is satisfied. So if the thermostat is set for 60 degrees, it reaches 60 degrees, the boiler will turn off.
What do you have?
But that is not the only way it's going to turn off. If along the way, one of 4 safeties trigger the boiler to turn off, it'll turn off. And one of those 4 are the pressure, the spill switch in the back of the boiler, which is the block vent switch. So if the chimney were ever clogged, which broke by the way, we have to replace that. The low water cutoff if it senses insufficient water, right? There's a rollout switch in the front of the boiler, which I didn't show you, but it's there. Okay. And then we have the pressure troll. So, and they're all it's like a Christmas tree. If one light goes out, they all go out. So if the pressure troll malfunctions, and I've seen
shut it down.
No, if it malfunctions, right, the boiler will stay running until that pressure relief valve opens. Want to hear something crazy?
What?
2 weeks ago, go to a job with a steam boiler. Steam is very common around here, by the way.
Yep.
Go to a job, and the previous homeowner is there to pay. Right, he sold it about a year ago, and he's there to pay me because he wants to make sure, quote unquote, that he gave the new homeowner. Actually, he's an army guy. He wants to make sure that the boiler is safe. Right, has pressure problems and banging sounds and water where it shouldn't be. Right, the boiler was flooded. We drained it, and then I'm going through the normal test, like I test the the relief valve. When I tested the relief valve, it wouldn't close.
Right. And
when I looked closely at it, it was a relief valve for a water heater. This water heater relief valve is rated for 210 degrees or 150 psi.
Okay.
The pressure troll in his boiler also malfunctioned.
Right.
And stayed running. So when I took off the relief valve, right? Yeah. I was trying to take it off like this. I was trying to take this off, and water was coming out of it. I stopped, and then I realized that there's tremendous amount of pressure in this boiler.
Right.
The boiler, something would have blown up if left running. But the homeowner, the new homeowner, was smart. Hey, hearing all these sounds coming from the boiler, turns it off. Imagine if you left it on.
Gone.
Likely, yes. So it's crazy. So that's why I need to test this. Right. I know the relief valve works, but I need to make sure this turns off the boiler. And it should be shortly. And then it'll turn it back on once the pressure goes back down the way it should. God, that's right. I think maybe it was like 2010 or 11.
Yeah, Tommy was her boyfriend at the time. Yeah.
I remember, and she looked familiar, and it was an emergency service call. It was one late evening. Mm-hmm. She had no heat. I forgot what it was. You know, I can't remember everything, but I think the boyfriend or whatever who came down, showed me where the boiler is, and I said, she looks very familiar. She goes, oh, it's JWoww from Jersey Shore, whatever it is, MTV. I'm like, I start laughing. I'm like, all right, that's cool, small world, right? Yeah, it was weird. It's weird. Good stuff. You see something new every single day. Good stuff. All right, we're gonna work on replacing that spill switch. All right, so first thing is cut this off. Got my Nippics. There's one. There's two. All right. Decline. Crimper. And that's gonna go in there. Right like that. Oh, let's see. Again. Nope. Didn't like that. Why didn't you like that? Let's try the smaller one instead. Much better. Perfect. See? Decline. And the Nippics. I'll put links in the description box down below. Let's just do the other. Right in there like that. Bingo. All right, there's one thing that we did not find out why it occurred. And you asked about how did all this water get in the boiler? And I kept saying either human error, mechanical failure, right? And I say human error if this valve there was not fully closed.
Which one is that?
That one.
Okay.
Let's say it was left open just a hair, right? It's gonna slowly let water pass. All right. Okay. So that's the first thing. Number two, let's say the low water cutoff gave the low water gave the automatic feeder power, and it didn't close when it was done. That can also do it.
All right.
I am not a fan of feeders, automatic feeders like that one you have there, because I fix these things for a living.
Right.
And every winter, without fail, at least a dozen times, I go to a house that's completely flooded, and I mean flooded. Not flooded like your boiler was flooded with 30 gallons of water. Flooded mean water's pouring out of every single radiator air valve and flooding the house, and the basement has a foot of water in it. That kind of flood.
Wow. Because
of a failed automatic feeder, or someone accidentally left this partially, not fully closed. Right. Here's a lever. You should know that, but a lot of times it's a knob, and if you don't really crank down on it, you could be screwed. Okay. We resolved the problem of no heat with this Burnham SIN5 gas-fired steam boiler. We did not figure out why the boiler was flooded. And there's only two reasons why there was that much water in the system. Number one, human error, or number two, mechanical failure. Those are the only two reasons. Or it could be a combination of both, but that's unlikely. But we did go through all the steps necessary to diagnose, low water cutoff, the automatic water feeder, and hopefully the problem doesn't reoccur. I did tell him to, come back, in 24 hours, and then periodically over the next, week or two, and to see the water level, see where it's at. And I said, listen, you got kind of lucky. The boiler, we took out, I think, almost 50 gallons of water. 50? No, 5.5 times almost 5. So yeah, about 20, 25 gallons of water. If it would have been more, we would have had water coming out of steam radiator air valves. And that would have been good. That would have been pretty bad, actually. But Fortunately, thank God that didn't happen with him. But I gave him some advice, and listen, you need to come here and periodically check. You know, the house is vacant, no one's living here, but it's a good idea, just, you know, for your own peace of mind, to go there and check. Let me get your guys' thoughts and feedback. You know, could I spend another hour there, you know, trying to duplicate a mechanical failure? I guess I could have. He was also pressed for time, but I gave him food for thought, and that's all I could do. And I asked him if he wanted me to stay longer, and he goes, no, listen, I'm pretty confident we got to the bottom of it. Well, not really, but we got to the bottom of it not working, so it is what it is. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. This channel has grown so much this year in 2021, and as the year comes to an end, you know, it's quite rewarding to see, you know, that the January of 2021 we had, you know, I think 5,000 subscribers, and here we are at almost 27,000. Not bad, not bad. And that's all due to you guys out there supporting the channel, you know, commenting, smashing that thumbs up button. I feel honored to be part of this community and to post the content and the service calls, you know, post the service calls and to create content to help educate while also entertain. All right, be well, God bless, stay safe, have a great weekend. Hug your kids, give your wife a kiss. Be well.